It's true. Everybody is angry. Nick Caccamo, senior defenseman from the SU men's lacrosse team, joining us now. I do apologize, Nick. My co-host here made us a little bit late for our interview, but how are you today?
I'm doing good. Don't apologize. We got a good listen before what you guys were talking about, so I'm here.
All right, let's talk about the start to this season now. 4 games in, you started 3-0. And then you went on the road for the first time and played your toughest opponent of the year in Maryland. And, it was a close game up until the very end. They ended up coming out on top. What do you feel like as a team you guys learned about yourselves, I guess, from that game against the Terps?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good test. We kind of knew going in that was going to be the toughest challenge of the season up to that point. They're a great program. Coach Tillman does a great job running a very structured, disciplined unit. And I think that was an early season test that we really needed to kind of, grow off of, like you said. We got to dig in a little deeper, grow as a unit. But overall, I mean, it was definitely a learning curve that we needed to have. And I think a lot of the guys took a lot from that and are definitely carrying it over, not just to this next game, but the rest of the games for the rest of the year.
Coming into the season, Nick, I don't think there were really any questions about your offense. You had so much offensive firepower returning from last year's team. And I think there were some questions on defense, especially the fact that you have a new goalie this year. As a unit, through 4 games, how would you kind of assess your overall performance? And do you feel like you guys collectively have answered some of those questions, heading into this new year?
Yeah, I mean, I think every game is going to be a new challenge, and we're going to have to step up every single game, right? Just because the first 4 games, technically went well defensively. We're not satisfied with that. We know the season has its highs and has its lows. We're just taking that good start defensively and kind of trying to build off of it. We weren't perfect at all. We acknowledge that. Coach O acknowledged that. But we've just been looking to improve and kind of just find our weaknesses, find our strengths, and just improve both of those. But overall, I mean, the last 4 years I've been here, this was definitely our best defensive start, and that's something we're proud of. But, we're not going to get complacent with that. We're going to keep improving.
You mentioned you're in your 4th year here at Syracuse. Started your career at Yale, and that was, the COVID year. Didn't end up having a lacrosse season. What made you want to come to Syracuse? What was it about, this program, this university that led you here after that 1 year at Yale?
I'm a New Yorker, a Long Island guy to be specific. But I've been a lifelong Syracuse fan. My uncle went here. My dad went to Geneseo, so he always ended up coming to the Dome and whatnot, cheering on guys like Derek Coleman and all that for basketball. So, I've been a Cuse fan for as long as I can remember. Specifically, that 2009 national championship year was when I really became like a diehard fan. So, when that opportunity came, when I hit the portal, there was really no other option for me. I wanted Syracuse, and I didn't want anything else.
So what's this experience been like for you? Now in your 4th year, and did it live up to the expectations for you? Would you do it all over again?
Yeah, I would do it all over again. No questions asked. There's definitely been highs and lows. As my first year didn't go as I thought. We didn't have much success, but since then we've grown every single year, and we've improved and we've gotten better. In the process, you're growing with your friends, your teammates, you're building relationships that last forever. And I know that's a small part of it, but it really does, have a lasting impact on you. But, in terms of lacrosse, the fact that we've gotten better each year kind of fires me up, because we're just following that philosophy of getting 1% better every day. And over time, it adds up. This is being the last year. My goal is to, have this team improve further than we did last year. I think a lot of guys felt that we didn't fulfill our expectations last year, and that taste of that Denver quarterfinal game hasn't left any of our mouths. We're still hungry, and being my last year, there's nothing else I personally want, and this team wants than a national championship.
And along those lines, I was going to ask you about the build, right? The journey over the course of these last 4 years, and you guys have progressively gotten better, to this point where there are Final Four national championship expectations, as you just laid out right there. What is different about this particular team, Nick? That have you noticed, I guess, anything different about this team from the other 3 that you've been on here at Syracuse?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten better every year, and but learn more every season. But I think this year specifically, we've kind of we have a lot of guys that are seniors and fifth years that have seen the highs and have seen the lows. So, we kind of know what it looks like when things aren't going well, and also what it looks like when things are going well. And being able to take those last 3 years of experience and, knowing what works for our program and what doesn't. We've done a good job of, not riding the highs and lows and the emotional roller coaster of the season, and really just taking it one game at a time. And, really from that philosophy, taking it one practice at a time. And, you can't win on Saturday if you don't win on Monday, is our favorite saying. But it's true. I mean, you realize that the best teams, the teams that win the most consistently, are always the guys that, show up every day and actually, have intent to get better on that day, and, don't just coast through practice or, take it easy during a week of practice because there's a quote unquote easier opponent. We realize that, any team could beat any team at any given moment. So we really try to have our best preparation each week to make sure that we don't let that happen.
We had Coach O'Dearna on recently. He's one of our favorite guests. We love having him on. What's it like playing for him? Can you give us some insight into, kind of maybe what you've learned from him on or off the field, and what it's like, playing for him?
Yeah, Coach O is the man. Fellow Long Island guy also, so we definitely have a deep connection there. He's actually from 10 minutes from my hometown. But he's just awesome. I mean, he knows the game so well. He's got a counter for every single offensive attack, and what they're going to throw at us. He studies tape, nonstop. And my favorite part about him is he's able to simplify the game. He's not throwing 100 different things at us and making us have to memorize 100 different terms. He's black and white. But at the same time, like he inspires his players. He pushes you, but he instills confidence in you, and I think that's been why he's doing such a good job of building relationships with our guys and coming in, and only in his second year. Our defense has been off to a great start, had a good season last year, and I think that speaks a lot to his philosophy and the way he goes about his business, for sure.
You guys have a difficult stretch coming up here. You play one of the most difficult schedules in the country, so it's not surprising you got a tough stretch coming up. But 15th ranked Harvard inside the Dome on Saturday. Then you make that long trip out to Utah, and then you've got Hopkins, one of the best teams in the country, coming here on March 9th. Can you speak to, I guess, this stretch coming up? And it's always been Coach Gates' philosophy, even when he was coaching the women's team, to play the best in conference, out of conference, didn't matter, anywhere, anytime. Do you like that philosophy where you guys challenge yourselves week in and week out?
100%. I think everybody's on board with it. The Block S has always had a target on its back, and we know that everybody wants to beat us, and it's their Super Bowl when they come to the Dome, and we do a good job of embracing that, and realizing that we have to put our best foot forward, because the second we don't, there's going to be someone that's hungry to really take it to us, and I think we take that a little personal, that everybody wants to beat the brakes off us, and it inspires us to realize that if we don't get better, someone's going to come and jump on us when we play them. So, this Saturday is a big test. This team's a very good, skilled, athletic team. And, the rest of the stretch, the rest of the season, like you said, it's not going to be easy. But at the same time, if we want to go where we think we'll be able to go, that's the route we need to take. And we all understand that. And, we're willing to, battle through the highs and lows that might come throughout the season. But, it just, like I said before, I said it several times, it just starts with, every single day, making sure you're getting better and making sure you're preparing yourself for, when those tough stretch of games come.
Very well said, Nick. And it does seem like you guys are laser focused on the task at hand and the ultimate goal. Best of luck this weekend against Harvard. It was a pleasure catching up with you today, and best of luck throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, Nick Caccamo, senior defenseman for the SU men's lacrosse team. Paulie.
Steve, going to do a quick tease here.
Okay.
All right. I have proof that you can have 3 or 4 losing seasons and come back and win. Syracuse is about to do that. And I want everybody to stick around and find out